All right, good evening, everyone. First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron joining you now from the WYMT First Alert Weather Center. We are coming on the air because we have a new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for portions of northern Estill, all of Powell, also much of Menifee County as well. This is because of this very strong complex of storms moving through portions of Winchester, close to Mount Sterling as well. This is a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing winds upwards of 70 miles per hour, also large hail as well. What I'm going to do is walk over to the Weather Center and kind of tag team this storm with you real quick. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45 this evening for portions of northern Estill, also much of Powell, much of Menifee County as well. This does include Stanton. This does not include Irvin. So if you live in Irvin, the strongest part of this storm will be well to the north of you. I'm going to turn on the velocity real quick. And as you can see, these blue colors here, that is where we could see winds upwards of 60 or 70 miles per hour for the possibility of that. That's going to continue pushing off towards the east at around 40 miles per hour. Let's put this a track on this real quick. We have a new tornado warning. Looks like a new tornado warning for portions of northern Powell County. Let's see. Put this on here. And yep, there it is. Okay, so new tornado warning for northern Powell County. This does not include Stanton. Let's put that out there first. This does not include Stanton. We're watching out for this part of the storm right here. Let's zoom in on this. This is near Highway 15, just to the southeast of Winchester. This is going to clip the far northern edge of Powell County. This doesn't include Stanton. This doesn't include Clay City. This really only includes a small portion of the Mountain Parkway, but it's for this portion of the storm right here. Let's take a put right here. So let's walk over here to the wall real quick so I can show you what we're talking about. We have a new tornado warning for portions of northern Powell County. For this part, you see it just jumped right there. So this is the part of the storm that we're watching out for. This right here is Powell County, and this could possibly stay north of Powell County, but still, just a heads up, if you live north in northern Powell County, near the county line here, that is a possible tornado that we could possibly see push off towards the east. This is Highway 11. No one should be driving on Highway 11 in northern Powell County as this continues pushing off towards the east. Let's go back over to the Weather Center real quick, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. This is a possible tornado for portions of Bath, Menifee, Montgomery, and Powell counties. Let's zoom out a little bit. And let's put on the polygon. Let's see here. 1 second. Trying to find that real quick. There it is right there. Okay. So for Menifee County, again, this is a very small sliver of Menifee County, a very small sliver of Powell County. This really includes kind of the rural parts of Powell County, north of Stanton, and a very rural part of Menifee County, just to the west of Frenchburg. So along Highway 460 there from Frenchburg over towards Jeffersonville. This is south of Mount Sterling. So this does not include Mount Sterling or Clay City or Stanton, but still, just take that seriously because we still have that severe thunderstorm warning as well, and that could possibly produce winds upwards of 60 or 70 miles per hour. Let's turn on the hail too. Let's see what we got here. So possibly some large hail south of Winchester, and that could also be a problem for Powell County as that continues pushing off to the east. So Stanton, heads up, no tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Stanton. And still, we could see winds upwards of 60 or 70 miles per hour. And again, it does not take much to knock those trees down and stuff like that. Doesn't matter if it's 60 spinning in a tornado or 60 going in a straight line. But we're on TV right now because we have a tornado warning in place. And really the tornadic part of this storm looks to stay north of Powell County, in my opinion. Right there is where that couplet is, and that will continue pushing off towards the east. If you know anybody in Jeffersonville, south of Mount Sterling, be sure to give them a heads up. There is a possible tornado moving in their direction. Let's turn on a track for this part of the storm. Let's see how far or how close, how fast this is moving. Let's see. The National Weather Service says this is moving towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on this real quick. And let's see here. Turn on the velocity because it's kind of rain wrapped. So we're not getting a good look at it on reflectivity. Let's put on a track for 40 off to the east. That's not going to work. So just ignore this real quick. I'll redo that very quickly. Let's zoom out a little bit and put on a new track for this for 40 miles per hour off to the east. And again, this is going to show places that's not included in the warning. Frenchburg, you're not in the warning, but just a heads up, if this holds together, you could possibly be in a warning later on this evening. But Lucky Stop, that's not in our coverage area, but still 525, so about 15 minutes or so there. Rothwell, that is in our coverage area. Again, not in the warning, but if it's extended, you would be in the warning. So just a heads up there, 537 or so. And Frenchburg, again, also not in the warning, but 544 as this continues pushing off towards the east. So we're on here now for the possibility of a tornado in northern Estill and also into Bath counties and Montgomery counties as well. And we're also on the air for the possibility of some strong straight line winds coming into much of Powell County, much of Estill County. Let's watch out for this part of the cell also just to the west of Irvin right here. Let's watch out for this because this is velocity. So this is winds, red going towards the radar in Jackson, green and blue, that's wind going towards the radar, red wind going away from the radar. So right here is where we could possibly see a little bit of that rotation. Just a heads up, in Irvin, north of Irvin and Estill County, no tornado warning right now, but a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, as we could possibly see maybe a little bit of a spin up there as that continues pushing off to the east. We'll watch out for that very closely as well. But we're on the air right now for the possibility of some strong straight line winds, also possibly a quick spin up tornado over northern Powell County, also much of Montgomery County into Bath County as well. So we are going to keep on tracking this cell off towards the east. Let's do a track on this entire line. Let's see. Put on a track here from near Mount Sterling down into portions of Estill and Powell County, and that's pushing east at 40 miles per hour. So we'll put on some tracks here. So Jeffersonville, you are in that tornado warning, so 512, so it's on top of you right now in Jeffersonville. Again, not in our coverage area. Frenchburg, you are in our coverage area, 530 before these strong straight line winds start to move into your area. And over towards West Liberty, if this storm holds together close to the 6 o'clock hour. So again, Morgan County is not in a warning, but if this storm holds together, we could possibly see that extended further off to the east. So if you're just now joining us, we are on the air right now for a tornado warning for portions of, portions of Powell County and extreme western Menifee County as well. So most of this storm is going to stay out of our coverage area, but still we're on the air for the possibility of a quick spin up tornado approaching Highway 11 near the Levy community, pushing off towards the east towards Jeffersonville. If you know anybody in this portion of the world, just give them a heads up. There's a possible tornado pushing off towards the east into their direction. But again, I do think most of this will stay out of the WYMT coverage area, but the strong straight line winds, that will be a problem for portions of Estill and Powell counties over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. I'm going to try to get on the chat here with the National Weather Service and see if we have any reports or anything coming out of Estill and Powell counties right now. Again, if you have any reports, you can send those along to the National Weather Service in Jackson, or possibly Brandon or Evan or myself. You can send those to us safely on Facebook or Twitter if you have any of those reports coming out of Estill and Powell counties. Let's do a little bit of a reset. If you're just now joining us, we are here because we have this tornado warning, but we also have the threat for some severe weather really for the rest of this evening. This is the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and as you can see, that level 3 enhanced risk does continue for mainly along and west of Highway 15 from Monticello to London to close to Jackson up to near Moorhead and back to the west. For everyone else, that level 2 slight risk does continue. I do want to stress though, don't get caught up in the numbers and the colors and all that good stuff. All of us have a chance for severe weather today. Not going to be a widespread problem, but these pop-up showers and storms, they are going to continue for the rest of your Sunday. If you're just now joining us from much of the coverage area, we are dry and hot at this hour. That's not good news. That really adds to the instability in the storm fuel for storms later on this evening. Let's see. So yeah, the National Weather Service is tracking that broad rotation in Montgomery County. Again, Montgomery County is not ours, but it does clip portions of northern Powell County and also into extreme western Menifee County. But again, I do think the bigger story with this for most of our region is going to be the strong straight line winds. Let's take a look at what this radar is suggesting. This blue color is here. That didn't work out. Let's try that one more time. Let's see. So that blue color that you're looking at here, that is straight line winds off the ground. That's not at the surface, but this here is winds upwards of 50, 60, possibly 70 miles per hour, and that will continue pushing off towards the east. I do think that's the bigger story with this system. We are still watching possibly a little bit of broad rotation just to the south and west of Jeffersonville in Montgomery County. But again, if you know anybody in Montgomery County near Jeffersonville, let them know there's a possible tornado approaching them. This is Highway 460 going over towards the Means community, and that's that possible tornado there. Let's go back down to Estill and Powell County. Again, some strong straight line winds are possible as this tornadic storm continues pushing off to the east. No one should be driving right now on the Mountain Parkway, really just in Powell County period, because not only are you looking at torrential rainfall, but possibly the threat for some strong straight line winds upwards of 50, 60, or 70 miles per hour. And the National Weather Service is calling this a considerable storm for the possibility of those strong winds. Here's a look at the hail and possibly some hail. Let's see what that dark blue color is there. That's inch. So up to quarter-sized hail now just to the north of West Bend on the Mountain Parkway. So you could also run into some large hail on the Mountain Parkway as well. But again, we are watching out for the possibility of some strong straight line winds coming into Estill and Powell County. But again, possibly a quick spin-up tornado cannot be ruled out. There is a tornado possible tag on this system. This goes until, let's see, this will be a severe thunderstorm warning in place until 5:45. So we have about 30 minutes, a little bit less than 30 minutes until this warning is expired or canceled, or unless they push it further east. We'll keep an eye on that and see what they want to do there. But they are going to continue the tornado warning for Bath, Menifee, Montgomery, and Powell counties until 5:30. So about 15 minutes, a little bit less than 15 minutes for that warning for a possible tornado near Jeffersonville or 8 miles north of Stanton, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So again, the tornadic part of the storm I do think will stay out of Powell County, but still, just in case, if you live in northern Powell County, north of Stanton, this does not include Stanton, this does not include Clay City, this does not include the Mountain Parkway. This is a far northern sliver of Powell County, also a far western sliver of Menifee County. This does not include Frenchburg either. So there's the possible tornado close to Jeffersonville. But again, I do think the bigger threat for us will be from strong straight line winds as this complex of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east. And this is not the only threat that we face today. Let's back out and show the entire region. For most of us, we are dry right now, but notice back to the west, we have more severe thunderstorms over central and western Kentucky, and those are also going to move off to the east. So as you can see over the last 3 hours, those storms continuing to push off to the east. So we will watch out for that very closely as we go into this evening, also as we go into tonight. So just be sure that you have a way to receive warnings and you stay weather aware. We're not expecting widespread problems with this system, but still, just in case, we could possibly see some damaging straight line winds tonight. Also, maybe a quick spin up tornado. That is what we're looking at over extreme northern Powell County. Probably some large hail falling now close to Jeffersonville, also close to Highway 460. And you see there that dark blue color has grown in size a little bit. So just to the north of Clay City, possibly some quarter-sized hail falling just to the south of Levy, also just to the south and west of Jeffersonville, close to Highway 11, also close to Highway 213, possibly some quarter-sized hail, and that can do some damage to the cars as that falls. So we are on the air right now for that possible tornado that is near Jeffersonville in Montgomery County. This does include a small sliver of Menifee County and also Powell County as well. And again, if you're in Stanton, some very heavy rainfall, some thunder, some lightning, and possibly some small hail as this continues pushing off to the east. We'll do another track on this. This is moving off to the east around 40 to 45 miles per hour. So give me 1 second and we'll put a track on this system as it pushes off to the east. So here we go, off to the east around 40 let's say 45 miles per hour. So again, Stanton 520 right on top of you right now. So just be indoors if you're in Stanton, because we're not really looking at a tornado threat, but a really strong straight line winds are possible up to 50, 60, maybe 70 miles per hour. Up to Frenchburg and Menifee County, 534, so 14 minutes or so. Campton, you're not in the warning in Wolfe County, but still possibly 20 to 25 minutes if this storm holds together. Over to West Liberty in Morgan County, just after 6:02 if you're in that community there. But again, these areas are not in a warning right now, but that could change if this cell holds together. So let's go back into this tornadic part of the storm. And the good news, the velocity couplet has really faded away. That's good news. Let's back this up a little bit. Let's go back the last hour. You can see we had a little bit of a couplet there. You can see I'll draw this on here, right here. A little bit of a velocity couplet there, but notice as we went through the last few minutes that really has faded away. So that's good news there. Possibly a little bit of a couplet here near Highway 460 just to the east of Jeffersonville, but overall the couplet has started to diminish. That is good news there, but still we are watching out for these strong straight line winds right here. Let me draw this on here as well. These blue and green colors, that is winds upwards of 50 or 60 miles per hour, and that is moving into far northern Estill County and also into much of Powell County. So again, we're not looking at a classic tornado definition here, but strong straight line winds, they can do just as much damage as a small tornado. So be sure that you just stay indoors, let this pass over you before you head back outdoors. Let's take a look at this system near Richmond. They had a very strong thunderstorm last week or 2 weeks ago. They've had a very long week. Can't really remember when that storm was over in Richmond. Good news there, no rotation being tracked in Madison County, so that's good news. But still, strong winds cannot be ruled out as this storm continues pushing off to the east around 40 to 45 miles per hour. We're going to stay on the air because we do have this tornado warning in place for extreme northern Powell County, extreme western Menifee County. I do see a little bit of some rotation here just to the east of downtown Jeffersonville in Montgomery County. We'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do. They could expand this into Menifee County a little bit more, so we'll keep an eye on that and see what they want to do. This is getting to the eastern edge of that warning, so we'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do here shortly. This warning was set to expire at 5:30, so about 8 more minutes on this warning here for the possibility of a quick spin up tornado. All right, new tornado warning for Menifee County as this continues pushing off to the east until, let's see, that goes until 5:45. So we'll stay here as we do have an extension of that warning that does include Frenchburg. So now Frenchburg, go to your safe place. That is the lowest floor of your home, near the center, away from windows. A basement is great. You don't have to be in a basement, but a basement is the best place to be. You can be in a bathroom, a hallway, a closet, anything like that works as great shelter. And also be sure that you have on a helmet. We ask everyone to put on helmets during a tornado warning because that can protect your head from flying debris in case we have a tornado spotted. The good news right now, no confirmation of a tornado, but we are watching out for this area right here, just to the east of Jeffersonville in Montgomery County. This is Highway 460. Nobody should be driving on Highway 460 from Jeffersonville over to Frenchburg for the next 30 to 45 minutes until this system passes off to the east. And again, if you're in Frenchburg, right here, you're in that warning, so you have to be in your safe place, the lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Nobody should be driving and nobody should be in a mobile home. If you live in a mobile home, you have to seek better shelter. That is a community shelter, possibly a friend's house, a family member's house, a gas station, a restaurant, a convenience store. Anything like that offers better shelter than a mobile home. The good news, I just had this update from the National Weather Service. Powell County no longer included in that warning. So if you're in northern Powell County, the tornado warning was allowed to expire. That's good news there. But here we are, a possible tornado near the Montgomery-Menifee County line, and this will continue pushing off to the east. If you live in Means, this is very close to you. Rothwell, very close to you. In Frenchburg, you have just a matter of minutes before this storm is on top of you there. So here is a look at the reflectivity, and one thing I want to mention, it's thundering, it's lightning, It's raining very heavily. You're not going to be able to see this, so do not go outside and do not look for this thing because you're not going to be able to look at it because it's wrapped in rain. If there is one on the ground, we don't have any confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but we have rotation, so we are watching out for that. And actually, that rotation has gotten better. Oh, much better to find here. Sorry about that. Let me turn that off here. All right, so here is the rotation. This is north of Means. As we have a possible tornado, nothing confirmed, but a possible tornado pushing into Menifee County. This is close to the Menifee and Bath County lines, and this is a radar indicated tornado. So nothing is confirmed. Let's look at the correlation coefficient, and that's also good news. So we're not looking at any debris being lofted, but still take this seriously as the rotation has tightened up just a little bit over the past few minutes. Let's go back another hour. You can see really nothing there, and then boom, right there. So this has tightened up once again over the past few minutes. We'll put on another track here. Let me back this up a little bit. This is moving off to the east at 45 miles per hour. So we'll put on a track for this. Let's see. Give me 1 second. We'll put on a track for this off to the east at 45. And put this off to the east there. Let's go out for about, actually, let's go out to the end about 20 minutes. So the good news here, if there is any, there is looking like that the rotation will stay just to the north of downtown Frenchburg, but still do not get out of your safe place yet if you're in Frenchburg. Stay sheltered because this could kind of wiggle back and forth. So stay sheltered in Frenchburg. If you're in Sudeth, 5:35, so about 8 more minutes or so. In Scranton on the very edge of that warning until 5:42, so about 12 minutes or so on that. So just stay sheltered if you're in Frenchburg, if you're in Sudeth, if you're in Scranton, if you're in Means, any of these areas in Menifee County. We have a possible tornado that is north of Highway 460, Rothwell. Stay sheltered. Let's get in a little bit tighter here and see if we can see any smaller areas. This is Lloyd Ballard Road, Bean Branch Road, E Fork Road, Dog Trot Fork Road. Any of these areas in northern Menifee County. Stay sheltered. If you're in Sudeth, this is going to be really close to you over the next few minutes. If you live near Johnson Branch Road, Big Salt Lick Road, over towards, let's see, Bible Camp Lane, any of these areas in northern Menifee County near the Bath County line, you need to be sheltered. This is a possible tornado. That is why we are on the air right now. We are watching out for this cell, and that will continue pushing off to the east. We have not forgotten about Estill and Powell County. The good news, no tornado warning. Looks like they have expired. That was the first one. Yeah, they expired that first one, so that second one will continue. But the good news, no tornado warning in Stanton or Irvin, but we are watching out for strong straight line winds. It is absolutely pouring right now in downtown Stanton. Heavy rainfall, gusty winds, thunder and lightning, all of that is likely, but the tornadic part of this storm is in Menifee County, really close to Frenchburg and Rothwell and Sudeth, any of these areas in northern Menifee County. Stay sheltered. No one should be driving now on Highway 460 from Jeffersonville to Frenchburg. If you know anybody that may be driving, be sure to give them a call and let them know to pull off at the next gas station or convenience store or restaurant and get off the road. And you want to be sheltered in northern Menifee County. This is very close to the Bath County line. If you know anybody that lives near the Menifee and Bath County line, give them a heads up. This is a possible tornado. The good news, no confirmation, but still, these things can spin up and spin down very quickly. So just be sure that you are already in your safe place. Do not wait on this thing and just stay sheltered. Let's do another track on this. If you're just now joining us on WYMT, the current time is coming up on 5:30 on your Sunday. First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron. We are on the air right now for a possible tornado in Menifee County. This does include Frenchburg, so you need to stay sheltered. This is pushing off to the east around 45 or 40, let's see, 45 miles per hour. So here we go. We'll push this off to the east. We'll do this for about 30 minutes. So this will get into portions of Morgan County, but this is not saying it will go into Morgan County, but if it holds together, it could. So Rothwell 5:33, so about 4 more minutes in Rothwell. Frenchburg 5:38, so less than 10 minutes in Frenchburg. Scranton 5:45, so about 15 minutes there. Over towards Dan 5:50, getting into Zag 5:56, Craney 5:58. Again, these areas not under a warning right now, but if this holds together, it could end up in places like Morgan County or Rowan County in about 30 to 45 minutes or so. But these storms are not the ones to stay down for very long. These are the quick spin up storms that we're going to have to watch out for the rest of this evening. So just stay weather aware and stay up to date as we go into this evening, as we are watching out for more strong to severe storms later on tonight. But we are on the air right now for a possible tornado in Menifee County. Again, no confirmation, but a possible tornado north of Highway 460, near Highway 713, near the Means and Rothwell communities in Menifee County. We'll back this up a little bit. That severe thunderstorm warning does continue for northern Estill, much of Menifee, and much of Powell counties for the possibility of strong straight line winds. Again, no rotation in Menifee, or excuse me, for Powell or Estill counties, but we are watching some rotation in Menifee County. This is the latest update, and here we go. We have a couplet right here, very close to Rothwell, very close to Sudeth, very close to Frenchburg. If you know anybody in Frenchburg, call them. Tell them get to their safe place immediately, as this is a possible tornado. No confirmation, but again, a possible tornado is possible here in northern Menifee County. So here's Frenchburg. Here's downtown Frenchburg right here. Here's your rotation. This is tightening up just a little bit, just to the north of Highway 460. This is your possible tornado moving like this. Here's Sudeth, here's Frenchburg, here's Highway 36. If you know anybody living between Sudeth and Frenchburg on Highway 36, call them, tell them go to a safe place. This is your possible tornado north of Highway 460. Again, no confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but it could not take long for one to spin up or spin down, as this is a dangerous situation here in northern Menifee County. So be sure that you stay weather aware and you go to your safe place, and you kind of watch us here as we continue to track this storm off to the east around 45 miles per hour. So let's go back over here to the Weather Center. And again, if you are in northern Menifee County, get to your safe place. Let's zoom back into some smaller areas here. This rotation is very close to Tinsley, Eversole. Let's see, Big Salt Lick Road, Charlie Farrell Road. Let's see, Stone Road, Old 36, Johnson Branch Road. This rotation is very close to you, so be sure that you are sheltered in your safe place. And again, that's the lowest floor of your home, near the center, away from windows. No mobile homes, no cars. You want to be off the road. If you are on Highway 36, get off the road. If you are in a mobile home in northern Menifee County, you need to find a better shelter. That is a restaurant, a gas station, a convenience store that offers better shelter than a car or a mobile home. This will continue pushing off to the east around 45 miles per hour. So heads up Scranton. This is coming very close to you over the next few minutes. So Scranton 5:44, so about 10 minutes, but do not wait. Go ahead and go to your safe place. Now, Dan, you are not in the warning, but you could be if this is extended. Also, Bangor, same story. If you're not in the warning right now, but you could be as this continues pushing off towards the east. Let's go back to our severe thunderstorm warning. It is absolutely pouring right now. Actually, we have a camera in Slade. We have a camera right here. So we are about to, let's see if we can find that camera real quick. Give me 1 second. We'll take a look at this so you can see what this storm is producing as it continues pushing off to the east. Give me 1 second. Hopefully the camera is working, and I'll find that and put that in very quickly. So the rain has not gotten to this camera yet in Slade on the Mountain Parkway, but you can see those dark clouds back in the distance. Again, this is not the tornadic part of the storm, but this is a strong storm nonetheless. This is a severe storm as we are watching out for strong straight line winds, also possibly some large hail as well. Let's go back into our sail over northern Menifee County. And again, if you're just now joining us, the current time 5:34, no severe weather issues for most of the region right now. Nothing in Somerset, nothing in London, nothing in Pikeville, nothing in Jackson, nothing in Harlan, nothing in Hazard yet. That could change, but right now our focus is on our northwestern counties, Estill, Powell, Menifee. We are watching out for a severe thunderstorm warning, also a tornado warning as well for Menifee County. Okay, new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for Bath, Breathitt, Elliott, Estill, Fleming, Johnson, Lee, Magoffin. Actually, let's just back out because that's a very large warning. So the National Weather Service is going to go ahead and issue a large warning for that same complex of storms. And again, that has a tornado possible tag on it. Let's turn off the radar. Let's turn on the polygon so you can see who's in and who's out of that new warning. So Moorhead, you're in. West Liberty, you're in. Sandy Hook, you're in. Campton, you're in. Salyersville, you're not in. Jackson, you're not in. Let's see. So all of Wolfe County is in. Basically, all of Morgan County is in, and basically all of Rowan County, besides the extreme northern half. So some strong winds are possible. This does have a tornado possible tag, so possibly a quick spin up cannot be ruled out. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for right now, let's go back into this tornadic part of the storm north of Frenchburg. This is coming very close to Sudeth, very close to Highway 36, and very close to downtown Frenchburg. So if you know anybody, be sure to call them. Tell them to get to a safe place, the lowest floor, near the center, away from windows, put on a helmet. That's the key messages during a tornado warning. Let's go back to the reflectivity here. And again, this is going to be, if there is one down, there's no confirmation of a confirmed tornado, but there is some rotation. And if one gets down on the ground, you're not going to be able to see it because it's raining so heavily, it's thundering, it's lightning. It's just not a great time to be outdoors. So go ahead and go indoors. And that goes for the severe thunderstorm warning as well. If you were living in West Liberty, if you're living in Campton, just the first alert, this storm is pushing off to you. Let's go ahead and put a track on this. This storm is moving at, let's see, this storm is moving east. That warning goes until 6:15, by the way, but this is moving off to the east at 45. So we'll go ahead and put another track on this from Rowan County down to Menifee and close to Slade as well, off to the east at 45. All right, so Hazel Green, 5:53, West Liberty, 6 o'clock on the dot. This will be on top of you. Strong winds, heavy rainfall. Sandy Hook, 6:11 over towards Salyersville. Again, Salyersville not in the warning right now, but if this holds together, you could be later on today. 6:22 there. Oil Springs, 6:27. I would like Campton to be on there, but it's not. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Let's do a track for Campton. We'll do this part of the storm here, pushing off to the east. Still didn't work out. Okay, well, Campton, just go ahead and go indoors if you're outdoors. I know a lot of people may be outside for 4th of July weekend plans. So just go ahead and go indoors if you're in this severe thunderstorm warning polygon. That's northern Lee County, northern Breathitt County, portions of Magoffin County, much of Elliott County, into Morgan and Wolfe counties as well. The National Weather Service is going to continue this tornado warning for Menifee County. And again, the couplet just will not go away. There's the couplet right now on top of Highway 36. So here's the couplet. Let me draw this on here real quick. There we go. We got red, winds going away from Jackson. Green, winds going towards the radar in Jackson. The good news, Montgomery County, not in our coverage area, but still, they were dropped from that tornado warning. But Bath and Menifee counties will continue until 5:45. A storm capable of producing a tornado very close to Frenchburg on Highway 36. Let's go back in tighter for this storm. Johnson Branch Road, Ratliff Creek Road, Foxfire Road, Loney. Let's go back up to that one. Let's see if that pops back up. I don't think it will. Loney Brown Hollow. Any of these areas in northern Menifee County, this rotation is very close to you. In Scranton, just a heads up, if you live in Scranton, this is going to be very close to you within the next 5 to 10 minutes. A first alert in Scranton, a possible tornado is heading your way, so be sure to go to your safe place. We'll put on a track for the rotation, pushing east So there we go, Scranton 5:45. So you have less than 10 minutes in Scranton until this tornadic part of the storm is on top of you. Big Woods 5:48. Dan 5:50. Again, these areas not under the warning right now, but if the National Weather Service goes with the extension, they could be fairly soon. And again, we do have that rotation still showing up near Johnson Branch Road, also near Highway 36. Let's zoom out and show the hail. Let's see if we have any. Wow, look at that. Have some hail now on Highway 460 coming into Rothwell, coming into Frenchburg. So again, heads up Frenchburg. The rotation looks to stay north of downtown Frenchburg, but the hail is going to be a factor within the next few minutes. So heads up in Frenchburg, some large hail is possible, up to quarter-sized hail, possibly larger in some places as that continues pushing off to the east. Let's go down the rest of the line. Actually, let's go back to that Slade camera. Let's see if it's gotten to Slade yet on the Mountain Parkway, and yes, it has. There you go, live look from Slade on the Mountain Parkway in Powell County. Again, this is why we tell people do not drive during severe thunderstorms because it's pouring, it's lightning, it's windy. Just stay off the roads. Also watching out for possibly some hail in Powell County as well. So just stay off the road, people, and let's just ride through this thing together. And the good news, the forecast is looking much better for Monday, also for your 4th of July holiday. But for now, we are tracking some strong to severe storms. And again, right on top of downtown Frenchburg, some very large hail could likely be falling, but the velocity couplet is north of Frenchburg near Highway 36 and near the Sudeth area over towards Scranton on Highway 1274. If you live on 1274 from Scranton over to the 36 intersection, go to your safe place. Lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. This tornado warning will go until 5:45, so about 4 minutes. Let's see what the National Weather Service wants to do. They may extend this, they may not. Let's see what they want to do. If they extend it, heads up, Western Morgan, Southern Rowan. This could include you. And there we go. A tornado warning for Bath, Menifee, Morgan, and Rowan counties until 6 o'clock. So just a heads up for people in the back, this will go until 6, so that may cover up portions of the newscast there. Just a heads up for our people here at YMT. But all right, we're watching out for this tornadic couplet that is near Highway 36, new tornado warning. Let's zoom back out. Let's turn off the radar and turn on the alert. So West Liberty, not included in this warning. I want to stress, if you live in West Liberty, you are not under a tornado warning, okay? You have a severe thunderstorm warning, but the tornado warning is for northwestern Morgan County. Same story in Rowan. Moorhead, not included in the tornado warning. If you live in Moorhead, we are watching out for strong straight line winds, but no tornado warning in Rowan County. This is extreme southern Rowan and then portions of northwestern Morgan. Let's get in tighter, showing some smaller areas. So Big Woods, Dan, some of the areas I called out earlier, you're in the warning now. Paragon, Zag, 26, Kellasy, any of these areas in Morgan County, you are now under a tornado warning. So be sure to go to your safe place. Now, some good news. That couplet on the last scan has really faded away. That's good news there. You see right here, this was the last scan. We had some pretty good rotation, but watch what happened. With our new scan, it's starting to fizzle. Now, this is a cyclic storm because it did the same thing over Montgomery County. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through the next few minutes. But still, if you are in Scranton, this is very close to you. Be sure to go to your safe place in Scranton and Big Woods along Highway 1274. This is a possible tornado. No confirmation, but still go to your safe place. Lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. That first warning was allowed to expire, so let's see if that now includes Frenchburg. I think we can give an all clear to Frenchburg as this is now off to the north and east. So yeah, Frenchburg, the warning was canceled for you, so you're good in Frenchburg. It's still raining. It's still probably windy from straight line winds, but still no tornado threat anymore for now in Frenchburg. We'll keep an eye if we have any more storms later on tonight. Let's go down further south to portions of Wolfe County, Estill, and Powell counties. We are watching out for some strong straight line winds as this complex of showers and storms. Let me point this out too. Notice how on the radar this has a little bit of a backward C shape like this. that means we're looking at some very strong winds pushing this storm out. So we could see some strong straight line winds upwards of 60 or 70 miles per hour. If you live in that severe thunderstorm warning, just treat that as a tornado warning. Go ahead and go to your safe place and stay away from windows and just stay inside as this complex of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east. Let's go back into portions of Menifee County as we are watching out for a couplet that we are watching out for the past 30 to 45 minutes or so. This is a warning over portions of Menifee County. Again, this does not include Frenchburg anymore. Frenchburg now out of that warning. The couplet right here, very close to Scranton and Menifee County, pushing off to the east towards Big Woods in Menifee County. This is Highway 1274. This is Highway 801, Highway 519 in Morgan County. Any of these areas, go to your safe place. A tornado warning is in place for this couplet right here over portions of northern Menifee County, pushing off to the east. This is the county line, so we're pushing into Morgan County here, Rowan County up here. So we are looking at kind of where those three counties come together, Menifee, Rowan, and Morgan counties. Where they come together, you're under a tornado warning. So be sure to go to your safe place. That's the lowest floor, near the center, and away from windows. Be sure to have on a helmet. You don't want to be in a car. You don't want to be in a mobile home. If you know anybody in northwestern Morgan County near Highway 519, also southern Rowan County near Highway 801, call them. Make sure that they know there is a tornado warning in place. But again, we have no confirmation of a confirmed tornado at this hour. Let's go back down to this portion of the storm where we could possibly see some strong straight line winds. Again, no tornado threat here for eastern Powell or western Wolfe County, but again, we could possibly see some strong straight line winds as that storm continues pushing off to the east. This is a live look from the Mountain Parkway at Slade. Again, we ask people not to drive because it's just dangerous to do so. We have heavy rainfall, we have gusty winds, and possibly some small hail. Speaking of the hail threat, let's take a look at possibly some hail in our counties here. Let's go back to our counties. Let's take a look at the hail threat. Let's see what we got here. So again, pockets of possibly quarter-sized hail just to the south of downtown Irvin in Estill County. So possibly some large hail here, possibly some hail near Slade, possibly pea-sized hail there, and again, possibly quarter-sized hail just to the east of downtown Frenchburg in Menifee County. But the tornadic part of this storm is very close to Scranton, very close to Highway 1274, Slab Camp Road, Cold Cave Road, Singleton Branch Road, over towards Twin Oaks Road. Any of these areas in Menifee County, go to your safe place immediately. That's the lowest floor, near the center, and away from windows. You don't want to be in a car. You don't want to be in a mobile home. And this warning will last through 6 o'clock. So we got about a little bit less than 15 minutes here on this warning. If it looks like it does now, I would be surprised to see it extended. However, this storm is cyclic, so it could ramp back up again. So take it seriously, because this is a severe thunderstorm pushing off to the east. Also watching out for this cluster of showers and storms as well. Some very strong winds are possible as it moves into Canton, West Liberty, Morgan counties, Wolfe counties. A first alert for some possibly strong straight line winds. We'll put another track on this here as it pushes off to the east around 45 miles per hour. And again, this will show some areas that is not included in the warning, but still, it could be extended. Campton, it's almost on top of you right now, 549. Moorhead, 556. West Liberty, 605. Sandy Hook, 616. Isonville over in Elliott County, 621. Salyersville, not under the warning right now, but that could be extended, 624. If so, Paintsville, Johnson County, not included, but still, if it's extended, 640, so just after the 6:30 hour over in Johnson County as this storm continues pushing off to the east. Watching out for this rotation, but the good news, I will say the rotation has really started to fizzle, and that is what we are watching out for today. We're not expecting any long track tornadoes. All right, some good news. The National Weather Service has canceled that warning. So no tornado warning in Menifee, Morgan, or Rowan County. So if you live in those areas and you had that tornado warning, that was canceled. So you can come out of your safe place in Menifee, Morgan, and Rowan counties. However, I would stress we are still looking at this severe thunderstorm warning with winds upwards of 50 or 60. So still stay indoors, just don't go outside, and I would stay off the roads as well, as this is a possible situation with winds upwards of 60 or 70. And again, it doesn't matter if those are 70 spinning or 70 in a straight line. Just be sure that you take it seriously, because this can cause damage as it pushes into Morgan County and Wolfe County. We're going to keep it here. We have 10 more minutes until the newscast. We'll see what we want to do here, but we'll keep it here and track this system as it pushes off to the east. This warning does go until, let's see if I can find that warning, until 6:15. So we'll see what the National Weather Service does as we get closer to that hour. But right now we are tracking this line of showers and storms. The good news, the rotation has fizzled, but we are still watching out for pockets of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Wherever you see these areas of white and blue, places near Campton like that, over towards that's not the Mountain Parkway, over towards Frenchburg, places close to the Mountain Parkway in Wolfe County like that, those are winds we could see exceed 60 miles per hour. So we're looking at some pretty strong winds aloft, and it won't take much for those winds to be translated down to the surface, as we are looking at a pretty volatile atmosphere today. We have temperatures in the 80s. We have dew points in the 70s, so the air is soupy. If you walk outside, you can feel it. The air is very soupy out there. So that is why we are watching out for the risk for strong to severe storms. Let's do a little bit of a reset. The current time is 5:51. You're watching WYMT and Hazard. We do have the risk for severe weather right now. We had that level 3 enhanced risk for basically along and west of Highway 15 from Moorhead down to Jackson, down to Whitley City, and over back to the west. For everyone else, a level 2 slight risk is in place, but I do want to stress, don't get caught up in the different colors and the different numbers. If you live in our coverage area and you're watching this right now, you have a threat for strong to severe storms later on today. Right now, our focus is on places near the Mountain Parkway, because we have this severe thunderstorm warning in place for northern Jackson, or north of Jackson, and northern Breathitt. Actually, let's turn off the radar real quick, and I'll just turn on the warning. So portions of Estill County, Lee County, Breathitt County, Wolfe County, Powell County, Menifee County, Morgan County, Johnson County, Magoffin County, Elliott County, Rowan County. This is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, and that will go until 6:15 this evening. The main threats, strong straight line winds. However, we cannot rule out a quick spin-up tornado, so just be sure that you stay weather aware and you have a way to receive warnings as we go into tonight, because we are tracking more possible storms later on this evening, later on tonight. So just be sure that we are watching out for that later on this evening. So right now we are watching out for this strong to severe storm pushing into Campton and also pushing into Morgan County. Let's take a track on this storm again as this pushes off to the east around 45 miles per hour. So Moorhead, very close to you right now. West Liberty, about 7 to 8 more minutes or so. Sandy Hook, about 6:15. Oil Springs in Johnson County, about 6:27. Paintsville, 6:37, also in Johnson County. But again, Paintsville, Oil Springs, not in the warning yet, but that could change as this complex of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east, as it really doesn't show any signs of weakening anytime soon. So more straight line winds are possible, and also watching out for the possibility of some large hail. The good news, the tornado warning was expired, but the severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue. And again, that does still have a considerable tag on it. That means that this storm could cause considerable damage with winds upwards of 70 miles per hour in some places. You see the velocity. We are not looking at any tornadic signatures, but we are looking at some straight line wind pushing into Campton, Hazel Green, West Liberty, really on top of Campton right now. So really, I would treat this as a tornado warning. Just stay indoors, don't go outside, and I would be off the road. I wouldn't want to be driving on the Mountain Parkway from Campton over to Stanton, because this is a very hefty thunderstorm. Watching out for possibly some hail, possibly some high winds, possibly some heavy rainfall as well. So here's the hail, and the good news, no large hail. We could see possibly Small hail up to pea-sized in some places. The good news, though, no large hail being detected by radar. That's good news there. But the big story, the possibility of some strong straight line winds pushing into West Liberty, also pushing into Campton. Let's go tighter on Campton. You see that little area of white that is close to downtown Campton. That's probably some winds upwards of 50 or 60. So just stay indoors if you're in Campton near Highway 191, Highway 715, watching out for the possibility of some strong straight line winds in that area. Hazel Green also heads up some very hefty thunderstorms are knocking on your doorstep as well. If you're just now joining us, no severe weather issues for most of the region. If you're watching us and you're wondering, well, what's it doing in my area? Why is he ignoring my area? It's because we have no other warnings in place besides the counties near the Mountain Parkway, portions of Campton, over to West Liberty, over to Moorhead. Places like that, looking at this complex of showers and storms. But do not let your guard down, because look back to the west. We are tracking more strong to severe storms south of Louisville, south of Evansville, and on top of Paducah at this hour. So more showers and storms are possible as we go through this evening, also as we go into tonight. And that is why we have a first alert weather day in place for the possibility of some strong to severe storms. Now, we're not looking at a widespread problem. Not everyone will see severe weather today, but the possibility is there for some strong to severe storms in some places this evening. Also, as we go into tonight, the main threats, heavy rainfall, gusty winds, but as we just saw, we cannot rule out a quick spin-up tornado or some small hail in some places. So be sure that you have a way to receive warnings. You can scan that QR code on the top left part of your screen, and you can stay up to date as more warnings or more watches are issued. And speaking of the watches, let's go to that graphic real quick. We can see the watch that is in place that was issued about an hour or two ago at this point. Let's go back to the home view, and we'll turn on the severe thunderstorm watch. So really the entire area is under a severe thunderstorm watch besides Lee and Wise counties in Virginia. But for the vast majority of the coverage area, a severe thunderstorm watch is in place through midnight. So just be sure that you have a way to receive warnings as we go into this evening, also as we go into tonight. So we are watching out for this strong to severe storm complex pushing into Wolfe County, Morgan County, Rowan County. And again, just notice that backward C shape. You can see from Moorhead down to Campton. It's kind of shaped like that. That just tells me some winds are very strong in that system as it continues to push it and bow it out kind of there coming into Campton, also West Liberty. So just a heads up there, some strong straight line winds are possible. The good news, we are not detecting any rotation. That's great news there, and hopefully that will continue. But we cannot rule out a quick spin up tornado. So just be sure that you have a way to receive warnings as we go through the rest of this evening, and we'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do. This warning does go until 6:15, so we are watching out for the possibility of some strong straight line winds and some heavy rainfall to continue for about the next 15, 16, 17 minutes or so. But I will say this warning has not been, I will say this storm complex has not really weakened over the past little bit. So I would not be surprised to see this warning extended. So just a heads up in Salyersville, in Paintsville, and Prestonsburg over towards Lawrence County. No warning right now, but if this continues, we could have warnings later on this evening. Another track here as this complex continues pushing off to the east around 45 miles per hour. So West Liberty, you have a matter of minutes before this severe thunderstorm is on top of you. 6:04 West Liberty, Isonville, 6:21 Salyersville. Again, no warning right now in Salyersville, but that could change as we go through the next little bit. 6:27 for Salyersville over towards Paintsville, 6:40 Chestnut, 6:47 Walbridge, 6:53 as it continues pushing off towards the east. Also some good news, no reports of damage from this cluster of showers and storms. That's great news there from the National Weather Service. We'll keep a close eye on that as we'll keep an eye on that as we keep going through this. So right now we are on the air because we have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. No rotation that I'm looking at on velocity. That's great news there, but that could change. Again, we're watching out for possibly some quick spin ups as this line of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east. And again, there it is right there. You see the thunder, the lightning that is coming into West Liberty. Also Campton pouring right now in downtown Campton over towards Hazel Green and Wolfe County up into Morgan County as well. Grassy Creek about to be raining very heavily in that area as well. And again, strong straight line winds are possible as this continues pushing off towards the east. Let's turn on the reports real quick and we'll see if we've gotten any. I don't think we have. Yeah, all the reports have been near Lexington. We had some, this is that same storm complex. If you notice, it's kind of oriented in this line here. This same complex that's affecting portions of Wolfe County and Morgan County is the same complex that's caused damage in Lexington. So this storm complex has a history of producing straight line wind damage of downed trees and power lines. So just a heads up there, we could possibly see some downed trees as this storm complex could produce winds upwards of 60 or 70 miles per hour, and that warning will go until 6:15. It is now 6 o'clock. You're watching WYMT TV and Hazard. First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron live in the WYMT First Alert Weather Center. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in place with a tornado possible tag until 6:15, and that does include Campton, West Liberty, and Moorhead. And we actually have a camera on I-64 in Moorhead. Let me see if I can find that real quick. And hopefully that camera is working as strong to severe storms are pushing into Moorhead at this hour. As you can see, some rain is starting to fall. Also some very dark skies back in the distance there as this severe thunderstorm continues pushing into Rowan County. That current temperature is 75 degrees, but it's not 75 for most of us. Let me turn on the temperatures real quick, and you can see the air is very soupy across the mountains. We have dew points in the 70s. We have temperatures upper 80s, even 90 right now in Somerset. So we are looking at some very moist and unstable air, and that is why we have these storm complexes, and that will continue as we go into this evening, also as we go into tonight, and that is why we have that first alert weather day in place, and also that's why we have that level 3 enhanced risk in place for the possibility of those strong to severe storms. I do want to stress we are not expecting widespread problems. However, like we're looking at right now, some spotty showers and storms could be strong to severe, and we could also see possibly some quick spin-ups in some places. So we are asking people to please be weather aware and please be sure you have a way to receive warnings as we go into tonight. But the good news, like I mentioned earlier, the forecast is looking much better as we get into your Monday and also your 4th of July holiday. But right now, some strong winds are coming into downtown West Liberty and Morgan County along Highway 460, stretching down into portions of Magoffin County as well. But again, no indication of rotation. That's great news there, but still take this storm seriously because we could see winds upwards of 60 or 70. And again, that doesn't matter if it's going in a straight line or if it's rotating. 60 or 70 can knock down trees, and that can knock down power lines, and that could make you lose power as well. So we're watching out for this as it trucks off to the east around 45 miles per hour. Let's put on the track for this one more time, and as you can see, this will continue pushing off to the east around 45. So heads up, West Liberty, Kentucky, right on top of you right now as this continues pushing off to the east. Sandy Hook 617, Isonville 622, Oil Springs 628, Flat Gap 634, Paintsville 638, Adams 648, Louisa 655, also Walbridge 655 as well. Now I do want to stress no warning right now for Paintsville or Salyersville or Louisa, but that could change over the next few minutes as this complex of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east. We're watching out for strong straight line winds and also possibly some hail. Here's a little hail core here near Hazel Green in Wolfe County. So heads up, the first alert in Hazel Green for possibly some quarter-sized hail. This is very close to, let's see, that is Sandfield Road, also Cal Stamper Link Road, Gal Branch Road. Any of these areas looking at the possibility for quarter-sized hail close to the Tolliver area and Wolfe County, pushing off to the east towards Hazel Green. Some large hail is possible, but we're on the air right now for the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour winds as this complex of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east into West Liberty, also much of Morgan County, extreme northern Breathitt County as well. The possibility of some strong straight line winds. So heads up in northern Breathitt, portions of northwestern Magoffin, not Salyersville just yet. We'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do. This warning does expire in 10 minutes. I do suspect this will be extended, though, off to the east. So a first alert in Salyersville, Oil Springs, Paintsville, Flat Gap, Blaine, and Lawrence County. The possibility for a new warning over the next several minutes there. But right now we have a warning in place for Campton, for West Liberty, as a strong to severe storm rolls through the mountains right now. And again, we could possibly see more as we go into this evening, also as we go into tonight. So if it's not raining in your location right now, do not let your guard down, because a level 3 and a level 2 risk of severe weather does continue as we go through the rest of this evening, also as we go into tonight. The good news, though, that I'm looking at, no rotation from this storm, but still take it seriously, because we could still see winds in a straight line of 60 to 70. I do want to mention again, this storm has a history of producing tree damage back in the Lexington metro. I'll turn on the reports that we have here. And as you can see, tree damage near I-64, near Winchester, also tree damage near Lexington as well. So this is the same storm complex pushing into Wolfe and Morgan counties and Elliott counties right now. So just a heads up there. Some good news, though, no reports in our region just yet, but that could change as we go further on into tonight. West Liberty, this is really close to you. And also it's right on top of Hazel Green, and also right on top of Campton near the Mountain Parkway. And again, it's not tornadic, but I would not want to be driving on the Mountain Parkway from Salyersville to Stanton for the next 45 minutes to an hour until this storm system passes by, because you're looking at very heavy rainfall, strong straight line winds, and possibly some small hail in some pockets. So again, please just stay off the road and stay home until this complex passes by. This warning goes until 6:15 for all the counties that you see here. So we'll go through these together. Breathitt County, Elliott County, Menifee County, Morgan County, Rowan County, Wolfe County until 6:15 for the possibility of strong straight line winds upwards of 70. Also some large hail up to quarter size. And again, you see that threat, possibly tornadic in some places. The good news right now, no rotation on radar, but again, it could not take long for that to change, as we could possibly see a few spin-ups in some places. We'll keep an eye on that as we go through the next little bit. But again, first alert in West Liberty, as some strong straight line winds are coming into your neck of the woods very shortly. We'll put on the track here as this continues pushing off to the east around 45 miles per hour. Let's do a track here. So you see Paintsville, not in the warning, but you could be here soon. This warning does expire in 8 minutes. So at 6:15, this warning will expire. We'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do over in Jackson. But Wrigley, 6:07 on top of you now. Isonville, 6:24. Flat Gap, 6:33. Adams, 6:48. Louisa and Lawrence County, 6:57. Warfield, 7:06. Now again, these areas not under a warning, but that could change as we go through the next little bit. I'm still looking at no reports from the National Weather Service. That's good news there, but still, we could possibly see some spotty wind damage as this complex of showers and storms continues pushing off to the east around 45 miles per hour. And again, that will last until 6:15 as this storm continues pushing off to the east. I do suspect the National Weather Service will give us kind of an indication on what they plan to do here in the next few minutes. We'll see if they extend this warning or if they allow this warning to expire. And we'll see what they do here as this pushes off to the east. West Liberty on top of you now. And again, Highway 460, a rough go at it right now. I wouldn't drive on Highway 460 or on the Mountain Parkway in Morgan County or Wolfe County, as some very heavy rain is falling, some gusty winds, and also possibly some small hail. Let's zoom into this area here near Hazel Green. This is probably smaller than quarters near the Wolfe-Morgan County line. So yeah, close to quarter-sized hail near Hazel Green, and also close to the. All right, just got a note from the National Weather Service. They are planning on reissuing portions of the warning, so we will watch out for that as we go over the next few minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that. I do suspect this warning to be extended into portions of Johnson County, Louisa, Lawrence County, also Salyersville and Magoffin County. So first alert for you guys, the possibility of a severe thunderstorm warning here soon, as the National Weather Service does plan on issuing that here soon. We're reading another report here. That's from Louisville, so we won't worry about that. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. as it continues pushing off to the east. So again, the good news right now, no rotation on radar, but we could possibly see some strong straight line winds in some places as this continues pushing off to the east around 45 miles per hour on top of West Liberty right now, on top of Candle City right now, Campton, Hazel Green, all these areas in Morgan and Wolfe counties. Let's go up to Moorhead as well in Rowan County. Also in this warning, this is a live look from Moorhead at I-64. And as you can see, not raining right now at this location, but the storm clouds are not too far away. So that strong to severe storm is knocking on the door of this camera site. We do have reports of trees down in Lexington, so more reports coming out of Lexington from this same storm cell of trees down in the metro of Lexington. So that is the same system that we are watching out for. You see there, it came through. Let's zoom in a little bit. Also, I want to point out these cells that are popping up in central Kentucky, just a heads up for Somerset, for Monticello, for London, for Rockcastle County. Nothing going on right now, but watch where these storms are going. They're pushing off to the east, northeast, and we'll have to keep an eye on those as we go through the next little bit. But again, let's go back into that warning. Let's turn this off and let's go back into that warning near the Mountain Parkway. You see where this storm came from. It came through Lexington and produced some tree damage in the metro, and it followed the Mountain Parkway down into Stanton, down into Irvin, and now it is pushing into portions of West Liberty, also northern Breathitt County. I also want to mention, notice this little green line here that's popping up near McKee in Jackson County, also portions of Lee County. I'll kind of circle this here. Watch this part of the storm right there. So let's turn this off. Watch that part of the storm. You see that green line? We call that an outflow boundary. There's that new warning. We'll talk about that in a second, but that's an outflow boundary. So that tells me these storms are pushing out more than they're pushing in. So possibly a little bit of a weakening trend here as they continue pushing out their outflow. We'll keep an eye on that. But there is the new warning. And like we mentioned, Paintsville in the warning, also Salyersville in the warning, also looking at Jackson in the warning, Prestonsburg in the warning. So let's turn off the radar data and put on the alerts. So Breathitt County, new warning for you. Jackson, this includes you. This includes all of Magoffin County. Salyersville, you're included. Basically all of Johnson County. Paintsville, you're included. This includes most of Floyd County. Prestonsburg, you're included. Let's see if Martin is included in this. I don't think they are. Allen is included. I don't think Martin is. Martin right on the edge. So Martin, we'll say you're included just to be safe. Portions of Knott County, north of Hindman, not included. Now this does not have the tornado possible tag. So let's see what we want to do here in terms of programming. And we'll see what we do here. But let's put a track on this. Interesting to note, the National Weather Service has kind of put a southeastwardly kind of shape on that warning. Instead of due east, a little bit of southeasterly there. So we'll kind of, let's see what they have this moving at. They have this until 7 o'clock for the winds, possibly up to, let's see, 60. So they've also dropped the winds just a little bit. So like I mentioned, these storms are a little bit more outflow dominated. So a little bit of a weakening trend, but still, they could still produce winds upwards of 60, some really heavy rainfall, some thunder, some lightning, and also possibly some small hail. This goes until 7. This is moving east at 40. Let's put another track on this real quick. Let's see, let's put a track on this off to the east at 40 for portions of our coverage area off to the east at 40. So there you go, Salyersville 621, so 8 minutes in Salyersville, Oil Springs 629, Flat Gap in Johnson County 636, Paintsville, also Johnson County 640, Chestnut 652, Prestonsburg very close to 7 o'clock. Reisner 704, Clifford 707. So these areas in Floyd County just after the 7 o'clock hour. We'll keep an eye on that as it continues pushing off towards the east. So right now on top of West Liberty, and also I want to point this out. I want to point this out as well. Yeah. I want to point this out too. Look at the storms that are popping up in northern Breathitt County. Okay. So just a heads up there in northern Breathitt, close to Jackson, some heavier thunderstorms are possible there. All right, coming up on 6:15, what we're going to do, we're going to take a break at 6:15 and we'll come back and do the newscast. So we'll plan to do that. But right now, before we go, this is a live look at the radar. If you're joining us looking for the news, right now the news is weather, as we do not have any severe storms outside of the one near the Mountain Parkway. So Wayne County, Pulaski County, Laurel County, Perry County, Letcher County, Harlan County, Pike County, no warnings right now. That could change though as we go later on this evening. The one warning we do have is a complex of showers and storms from Morgan County into northern Magoffin County, northern Breathitt County, also on top of Campton and Wolfe County at this hour. This will continue pushing off to the east around 40 to 45 miles per hour. Coming up on 6:15, we'll take a break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. A first alert weather day continues as severe weather makes its way into our region. First alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron joins us now. Cameron, how's it looking out there?
Well, Keaton, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for portions of the mountains right now, mainly near the Mountain Parkway and back to the north. Here's a live look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. For most of us, we are dry right now, but we are watching out for this complex of showers and storms that's pushing into portions of Breathitt County, Magoffin County, western Morgan County into Elliott County as well, and that will continue pushing off to the east around 45 miles per hour. A severe thunderstorm warning does continue until 7 o'clock for this area, as winds could be up to 60 or 70 miles per hour. Heads up in Salyersville, a first alert for heavy rainfall and gusty winds at 6:22, 6:39 for Flat Gap in Johnson County, 6:42 in Paintsville, also Johnson County, and also a heads up and a first alert for Prestonsburg and Floyd County, 6:54, so close to the 7 o'clock hour as this storm pushes off to the east. For most of the region, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight, so just because it's not raining in your location right now, that could change as we go into tonight as more showers and storms are possible. Let's turn on the radar real quick, and you can see back to the west over central and western Kentucky. More showers and storms are bubbling up, and those will continue pushing off to the east and possibly impacting portions of our region later on this evening. That is why we have a level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather from Moorhead to Manchester to Whitley City and back to the west. For most of us, a level 2 slight risk is in place for the possibility of strong straight line winds, but maybe a quick spin up tornado as well in some places. More details coming up in just a few minutes. Keaton.
All right, good evening, folks. We're going to continue to track some severe weather across the mountains. I'm Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson. Meteorologist Cameron Aaron will be along here in just a minute. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Rockcastle, Laurel, and Jackson counties until 8:45. And the reason we're on the air, a tornado possible with this one. Let's go to the radar and let's see what's going on out there this evening. We continue to track the possibility for, again, that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it there. I'm going to go ahead and pop the information up on it so you can kind of see that. Threat level there, 60 mile per hour winds possible, hail size basically up to about an inch. So again, that's a pretty good, decent size hail there. So we're going to continue to watch that. And again, that includes basically, let me see if I can scoot this forward just a little bit where we can still see the communities impacted there. Anywhere inside that polygon, just a small sliver of northwestern Laurel County at this point. And then again, just a little bit of a sliver of parts of Jackson County, but for the most part, all of Rockcastle County, including the city of Mount Vernon, under the risk for that. So we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on things and see how it plays out. So Cameron is in here now, and we're going to let him kind of run the radar a little bit, and we'll just kind of take you on a tour, see what's going on. So Cameron, let's take a look at velocity real fast, just to kind of see if we're seeing anything that's going on out there this evening. And you see, again, we've been tracking a couple of tornado warnings out of our area there in Lincoln and Garrett, some of those counties. That's kind of some of the same complex of this, but we don't see a whole lot of action, again, for this same area that will be coming into Conway. So if you're along I-75 in the northern parts of Rockcastle County, what Cameron has circled is basically rotation that's for those tornado warnings that are outside of our area, but that is moving toward northern Rockcastle County. May clip parts of Jackson County as well. And then, of course, you see Madison County not quite included in that warning just yet, but you see there, again, that's the area we're talking about, 25, 75. If you know anybody driving between Mount Vernon and Berea, maybe call them, say, hey, maybe get off the road for just a little bit, kind of a bad storm coming your way, okay? This is not the only game in town, too. Let's go on up to the north there just a minute, Cameron, and show you the other warning.
That's some very strong winds.
So basically what we're showing you here, we've got another severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado possible, but look at that. All the bright green, those almost white colors there, that's very strong wind. And we're looking, we have some very good shear markers on there earlier. So again, anywhere you see those brighter colors, that means it's picking up on some pretty good radar coverage. But this is moving along. There we go, 68 there, velocity miles per hour. So again, gate to gate shear, not terrible. We're looking at that Stanton in the path of that. Irvin will eventually be down in the path of that. Anywhere you see inside that polygon there, those are some of the major population centers there. So if you're in Irvin, if you're in Stanton, you got a pretty good little line of storms coming toward you, but this is not a actual one with a tornado possible tag on it. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's going to pack a punch. Some of the communities, you could see this in the next few minutes. Stanton, 823.
Let me redo that, Brandon. That's the wrong times.
Okay. I'll bear with you for just a second. All right. So let's go back here again. Try that one more time. All right.
It's moving east at 50.
Okay, east at 50, Stanton at 818. So again, a few minutes off there. We'll look at Moorhead at 844 if it holds together that long. They're not in the warning at this point. Just giving you that heads up for West Liberty. First alert, if you make it to 856, it'll be right on top of you. Canal City over there at 903, and Isonville, which is over, I believe, at Elliott County at 907. So again, some of the areas up there. Let's go back down to the south, track out those storms and some communities down there for the southern cell that it's going to impact parts of Rockcastle and over toward Jackson and Laurel counties there. So again, traveling I-75 between Mount Vernon and Berea. This is the storm we're mainly concerned on because it's got tornado warnings just to the west, and we've got, again, the possibility for some of that rotation. It's broadening out, so we expect that tornado warning to be let go there before too long. But again, lots of lightning, very stout winds coming into Berea and Madison County right now. He's putting a track on that for you. We'll give you an idea of some of the communities that could be impacted. So again, the bulk of this is going kind of to the east. So it's going to affect more northern Rockcastle County. Be kind of north of Mount Vernon, but I can tell you this complex of storms is going to push through Mount Vernon here in a little bit. But along I-75 there, Conway, first up there about 8:15. So you got about 4 minutes to get into your safe spot there. Kirby over, I believe that is in Jackson County?
Kirby Knob, that is Jackson,
Kirby Knob,
yes.
Yeah, Kirby Knob over in Jackson County. That is until 8:36. You got some time. It's not in the polygon, but again, just giving you a first alert heads up there on that one. McKee at 8:57. That is in Jackson County. I know that for sure. Then we got Greyhawk over there a little further out there at about 9:10. But look at the bowing of this segment. And again, a lot of strong wind bands. And what they're doing now, these storms are coming into areas that have really not been worked over a lot. Now, the storms to the north there, back up toward Estill and Powell counties, they've had some pretty good ones there the last little bit. But these storms are working into areas that have really not been touched a whole lot today. So there's a really juicy atmosphere out there for storm development. And we're continuing to watch that as we head toward, again, the about 8:15 here, a little bit less before 8:15. So again, if you're in any of those areas, it's kind of in that track right there. You need to get in your safe spot. A tornado shelter downstairs under something sturdy. Basement is best if you live in a mobile home, especially if you're in Jackson County and you're under that. Just a little bit of a warning there. Maybe get a little bit. You have a little bit of time to get where you need to go if you live in a trailer, because trailers are not built to withstand the storms. Again, helmets. If you got a helmet, like we always tell you in school, protect your head. Okay, got to do that. Make sure that you're taking all those precautions. Back to the northern section of storms there. It looks like we're continuing to see that pretty strong wind gust getting ready to approach the Stanton area, North Irvin down in Estill County. So this is right along the Mountain Parkway. It's along it's that 89 there, going down into Estill County there. And then I see is that 1645. Those numbers are a little bit small for me to see there. Yeah. You're right there toward Irvin down that way. So again, if you're living along any of those areas I just called out, maybe be ready for some strong winds. There's not a tornado possible tag on this one, just a garden variety thunderstorm if there is such a thing. But again, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible. And anywhere you see that white, that brighter color, indicating some pretty strong winds. If you're anybody traveling the Mountain Parkway right now, make sure that they're maybe pulling over for a second, letting the storm pass, especially if they're near Stanton and then back toward Clay City and then eventually over into Wolfe County. So we're back to this one. Still watching those two tornado warnings that are out of our area. It's rotation getting a little broad there as we head into the nighttime hours. We're going to see the one we're talking about. There's Cameron circling that one as we speak. But coming up on I-75 in Rockcastle County there, coming up on US 25 in Rockcastle County. This is north of Mount Vernon, but again, Mount Vernon included in this warning because a part of this storm could still drift a little bit south. Maybe not the section that we kind of got highlighted there. We're watching that, but again, some pretty good storms. If we can go back over to reflectivity, and kind of show you that. Look at that. Lots of lightning, very, very very active out there as we go into the evening hours. So we're continuing to watch that. Not seeing much in the way of hail. Could be some small hail there just south of Crab Orchard, back over toward Middleburg. Those are both out of our area, so we're just kind of keeping an eye on that for the possibility for some significant hail out there at some locations. And we've talked about all weekend, or basically all week, that the main threats from these systems, basically damaging winds, possibility for some hail, possibility for some heavy rain. And there's actually a discussion from the Weather Prediction Center, Cameron, earlier, or Storm Prediction, Weather Prediction Center earlier, that some of these storms, if they were to train for a little while, kind of go over the same areas over and over again, could drop 2 to 3 inches of rain. So that could be a third threat. So basically wind, hail, and then possibility for some heavy rain that could lead to some localized flash flooding. So we're continuing to watch all that. We're not going to stay on too long because we don't have reports of damage. We just want to get on because these are kind of two different storms that we're tracking into the central parts of our coverage area once again. But again, anybody along the Mountain Parkway, anywhere you see that brighter color, those brighter greens, that means strong winds, and you can see it kind of bowing out on reflectivity down that way. We have a little bit of a storm that fired up ahead of the line there. We'll put one more track on this one. This is not a tornado possible storm, but it's got some stout winds with no damage reported just yet. Looks like we got there, is that 9-17? Move that box back over just a hair there, Cameron, for me. I believe that's 8-17 rather, there for Stanton, and then over toward Campton. If it holds together, you're not in the warning at this point by 8:43. We'll continue to see again West Liberty at 8:54. Kind of first alert for you there. Sandy Hook over in Elliott County at 9 o'clock. Isonville at 9:05, and Salyersville over in Montgomery County. You guys are not in the polygon just yet, but again, if that situation holds together, we will continue to track that to your area around 9:13. Let's go back down and put a track on the other storm real fast, and we'll take one more look at that one. Again, no damage reports. The only reason we're kind of sticking with this one for a little bit is there's the tornado warnings right outside of our coverage area. Going back over to Garrett and Lincoln and Casey County right there. So we're going to watch this storm as it moves off to the east, kind of to the east there. And again, Broadhead, that's in Rockcastle County, 8:16. And of course, you've got some other communities there, not quite included there. You've got Three Links, which is, I think, just over across the border in Jackson County at about 8:28. But Kirby Knob is in Jackson County, a little deeper in Jackson County. But I think they may be, I don't know if they're in the polygon. It's hard to tell there. But again, if
they're not.
They're not. But again, Kirby Knob there a little bit later than that. And then, of course, we've got McKee in the path, this Anvil. If this storm holds together, you're not in the polygon just yet. But we're watching that broad area of rotation cross from basically Lincoln County. That is Lincoln County, right? Or is that Garrett County?
That is Lincoln.
Okay, Lincoln County coming over into Rockcastle County there. And it's basically, if you know anybody along I-75 traveling into Madison County, US 25 traveling into Madison County from Rockcastle County, maybe give them a heads up. It's like, hey, pull over just a few minutes, let the storm pass you. No tornado warning in our area in Rockcastle County, but just across the border into Lincoln County and then even further down into Casey County. Got a couple of tornado warnings out that way.
Correction, that is Garrett.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That is, okay, I thought that was Garrett County. They're all right there in that same area, so I get a little bit confused once we get a little bit more into central Kentucky. So again, is that? No, I thought there was, okay, never mind. I thought I saw a red box there behind
I'm pretty impressed, though, by the straight line wind signature that we're getting with this. So even though there's no tornado warning or no rotation, it doesn't matter if it's 60 or 70 spinning or in a straight line, that can knock down trees. So heads up, Irvin, Stanton. This is some pretty hefty wind coming into your area for the second time today. We've already had one severe thunderstorm warning go through Estill and Powell. Here's another one, and a wall of wind coming into Stanton and Irvin at this hour, up to 60, possibly more than 60 in some places. So just a heads up there as more strong straight line winds are coming into portions of Estill and Powell County at this hour, Brandon.
Exactly. And if you're watching us on Facebook, and I guarantee I can see the comments right now, even though I can't see the Facebook Live, what about my community? If we're not talking about you, you're not seeing anything yet. So let's put a 3-hour loop on these storms just to kind of show people where these have been today and where they're going. So again, we only have that one active tornado warning, or I guess there's 2 active tornado warnings over in parts of Casey and Garrett and Lincoln counties. But for the most part, that's it. Everything else is severe thunderstorm warnings. A couple of those have tornado possible tags on it. But the areas that you see up to the north, matter of fact, I'll point them out for you. Areas that this complex of storms have came through right along the I-64 Mountain Parkway corridor have been worked over pretty good today. We've already had some severe warnings go through there, but this entire area down here, to the south, from basically the Howell Rogers Parkway corridor, Highway 80 corridor south, has not really been touched that much. Okay, so that's still ripe for storm development. The severe thunderstorm watch goes until midnight tonight, so we still have some time for that one. That's basically for a lot of folks. That's 2 counties in southwest Virginia. That's all of southern West Virginia. That's East Tennessee. The only 2 counties not included are Wise County and Lee County, Virginia. But again, that doesn't mean those storms are not going to come through that way. It just means they may not be as bad as they have. The latest update from the SPC, which another one should be coming down about 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, so again, the latest one from 4 o'clock. Still level 2 risk there for the eastern counties there, basically from Hazard, Jackson, Moorhead, East, Middlesboro, Harlan, level 2. London, Rockcastle County, Mount Vernon, McKee, Jackson County, Estill County, Powell County. You guys are still in that level 3 enhanced. Somerset, Pulaski County, Wayne County, Monticello down that way, and then part of McCreary County, like the northern tip there of Whitley County as well. Complex of storms continue to work its way toward the region. And let's zoom back out real quick before you zoom back in. Okay. Let's zoom back out to state level so we can see the storms that are still maybe coming in later tonight. So let's go to there we go. So a few more still developing back toward Bowling Green. Put that in a 3-hour loop for me right quick, please. Thank you. And we'll continue to see those storms basically forming a squall line. And I do believe, let's switch to surface right fast. I guarantee the front is pretty close to that location. Yeah, it's a
not too far away.
A little bit ahead of it. So again, you got some prefrontal kind of a development there with these storms, and you see a lot of watch boxes out for that entire area. So let's go back to the local storms, talk about those for just another minute or two, and we're kind of waiting to see what they're going to do with those tornado warnings, okay? Or did they let those expire?
Still going for...
Okay, still going for a little bit.
One of them was expired, one of them is still going.
Okay, so the Lincoln Garrett is still going.
Let's see, I'll go back down and look at that one. Let's see what this is.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Yep,
that's
until 8:30.
So we got a few more minutes on that one. So we may stay on until 8:30 just to see what they decide to do with that tornado warning
see what
there.
the velocity looks like.
It's
fizzling.
Yeah, I think they're going to let that one go. That's just my best guess. That's from Louisville. That's not Jackson's coverage area. That's Louisville's coverage area. I'd say they'll probably let that one go and maybe keep it as a severe thunderstorm warning once it gets into Jackson's coverage area, which begins, I think even Madison County is still in Louisville's territory too. But again, once it gets a little past that into places like Estill County and in those areas, it'll turn into Jackson's territory. So what it looks like on the northern end that they've decided to do is go with a severe thunderstorm warning. But here at Mount Vernon and Rockcastle County, a very sliver of northwestern Laurel County, a little bit of sliver there of western Jackson County, also under this tornado possible tag on that. So far on this line of storms, this particular line of storms, no reports of damage. But of course, when you've got a tornado warning that close, you kind of want to keep an eye on things there for just a little bit. Lots of storm reports earlier today. Trees down. This is from the complex of storms that came through central Kentucky earlier. We've had trees down. I'm sure there have been some power outages. And this came basically all the way along almost to the I-64 corridor just outside of our areas. Of course, our area is kind of highlighted there with the embossed counties there. So again, you see that tree down report came basically up almost to Bath County, it looks like there. So again, strong line of storms working their way through the mountains tonight, and we're going to continue to just kind of keep an eye on things. If you have reports of any damage, please send those in to us as long as it's safe to do so. Of course, we like to see those pictures and those reports, especially if you're in this storm right here, because like Cameron said, straight line winds in some cases, especially if they're 60, 70 miles an hour, are just as bad as a tornado, okay? And that looks like there's some pretty good straight line winds in that one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I can't get the thing to pop up, excuse me, because it's going to the warning instead of the actual velocity couplet there. But either or, we could possibly see winds up to 60 or 70 miles per hour. So just a heads up there. We do have a report in Grinnell County, out of our area, but close enough, of trees down as well. So these storms have history of producing trees down and knocking out power as well. So just a heads up there, like Brennan mentioned, even though it's no tornado warning, we are looking at the possibility for possibly some straight line winds as these complexes of showers and storms continue pushing through the mountains. We had one earlier this afternoon, and we have one this evening as well. Like we talked about, we had these different complexes, and they will continue for the rest of this evening. So be sure that you just have a way to receive warnings just in case they're issued. We're not expecting widespread issues, but just in case we have more warnings, you need to have a way to receive those. A great tool to have is the First Alert weather app that's free to download, and you can stay up to date with our forecast and also all the watches and warnings as well.
So here's one other thing that I want to touch on. Let's zoom back out for just a second, Cameron, there, and kind of give us a regional view. Something I want to touch on, again, I can hear the people in the Facebook Live comments right now. What about my area? Well, if we're not talking about you, that's good news because you're not seeing anything active right now. But again, this area, basically, as I mentioned earlier, south of the Howard Rogers Parkway Highway 80 corridor, if you step outside right now, even at 8:25 at night, 8:24 at night, it's juicy. It's just hot, it's muggy, it is ripe for severe thunderstorm development. So there's still a possibility all the way up until about midnight tonight that you could see the possibility for, look at that, 80s, still in the 80s down there in some of the counties. That's not, but you can see where the rain has been today. 70 right there in Jackson. This is just current temperatures. 70 Pikeville, 68 Prestonsburg, but look at that, 84 in Harlan, 82 in Middlesboro, 84 London, Somerset, 86 in Monticello. So don't let your guard down just yet because we've still got some time to go before all this is said and done. Dew points in the 60s and 70s. It's air you can wear. It's soupy out there. So continue to be weather aware. Keep that First Alert weather app handy. Keep a weather radio handy. And maybe have your devices charged in case you lose power. And put some extra batteries in your weather radio in case you lose power. That way it'll still go off and give you alerts. I do think, and Cameron mentioned this during the 6, and I believe he's right, I do think this threat will be pretty much done, at least a severe threat, by midnight, okay? So it's not going to keep you up too late. I know we're going into the holiday week. Some of you may have tomorrow off. But again, I don't think it's going to keep us up all night long. But we're going to continue to monitor it as long as we need to. But we're going to keep an eye on this tornado warning to the south real fast. It's not quite in our area. Of course, we're watching the severe thunderstorm threat. We'll put a track on there. That's supposed to expire at 8:30. If they allow it to expire, we'll just head on back to programming because that means the threat has kind of died down a little bit for our area. But again, the northern cluster of storms, which is still going to push through, okay? We're not going to stay on the air for this one, but it's going to continue to push through. So First Alert, Campton, you're not in the warning just yet in Wolfe County, but if this storm continues your direction, you'll be seeing that on your doorstep by basically about 8:48, okay? Grassy Creek, I believe that's also in Wolfe County. That'll be basically at 8:52. Isonville up in Elliott County, you're looking at 9:08. And then, of course, West Liberty under the gun there about 8:57. Not in the warning in those last communities I just called out, not under the warning at this point. But again, some of the areas back off to the west under that. That includes Stanton and over toward Irvin and Ravenna. But it looks like the worst of the storm is possibly past Irvin right now, at least with the wind. Still seeing some pretty good rain. Now I'm going back to the southern storm, and again, tracking it out that way. Some of the communities that will be impacted by this one. You've got McKee, which is not in that warning polygon. That will happen approximately be in your area about 8:45. You've got 3 Links, which is right there, kind of on the edge of that polygon on that warning there around 8:31. So you still got a few minutes to get in your safe spot. Again, this is the tornado possible cell. Okay, we've been watching that broad rotation coming out of central Kentucky. Excuse me. That will impact. Excuse me. That will impact some of those areas we've got highlighted there. If it holds together, which it might, Boonville at 9:06, not in the polygon right now. St. Helens, that's over in Lee County, 9:01. Cow Creek over, I believe that is at the edge of Owsley and Breathitt counties there at 9:12. Tawby and Jackson, 9:19 and 9:20. That is in Breathitt County, I do believe, both those communities. So again, just waiting to see what they're going to do with the tornado warning there in parts of Garrett and Lincoln counties. If they let that go, we'll take you back to regular programming at 8:30. Don't want to stay on the air too much longer, just to kind of track storms. We know it's going to happen. We've got a big line of these storms that are continuing to track. Go back to velocity there for just a second. I was looking toward the, I don't think they'll continue that one, do you?
No, I don't see them doing that. It's pretty fizzly at this point.
So basically what you're doing here, you're coming between 2 National Weather Service offices. Madison County, Lincoln, Garrett counties, all Louisville forecast area, coming into Jackson forecast area. So again, the rotation looks like it has pretty much died for now. So we're gonna keep an eye out for just another minute just to make sure that they let that tornado warning go and it doesn't ramp back up.
When this one expires, though, I would assume this one would probably be extended further east.
Yeah.
This one goes until 8:45. So just a heads up. Again, Campton, West Liberty, you had one round earlier today, but another round is on the way in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, so some more populated communities that will probably be in the next warning. And again, if it doesn't have a tornado possible tag, we're not going to come back on air. We'll push them out online, get you updates if we need to. But Sandy Hook, West Liberty, that's Elliott County, that is Morgan County, Campton, over into Wolfe County. Mountain Parkway runs through those areas, Highway 460, I-64 to the north. And again, this looks to be north of Beattyville if they extend that warning there in Lee County. So just keep an eye on that. Again, those brighter colors, we're watching this storm too closely because of the simple fact that's some pretty stout winds. And straight line winds can be just as bad, if not worse, than a tornado in most cases. And that's, we don't deal with a lot of tornadoes here in the mountains. We deal with some. Everybody, always says when we have possibility for tornadoes, like, is it going to be like March 2nd, 2012? Absolutely not. That was a very rare event that we hope we never see in our lifetimes again. The typical types of tornadoes we have in situations like this are brief. They're isolated, they spin up, they're gone sometimes between radar scans. So it's one of those situations, to get into a situation like we had back in March 2012, you have to have absolutely perfect atmospheric conditions like we had that day. And we don't have that often because we're mountainous. As I tell kids when we do weather classes in school, elevation plays a big role, okay? So just a quick little weather class lesson for you while we're putting another quick track on it while we're waiting here for the next about 30 seconds. When you go up a mountain, the air temperature always gets a little bit colder. One of the key ingredients you have to have a tornado is the perfect balance of hot and cold air. If you don't have that, once it goes up the mountain and starts getting colder, it's going to throw your balance out. It's like baking a cake or any type of recipe. If you don't have all the right ingredients in the right amounts, it's not going to work. So again, think of it like that way. That long track tornado situation like we had back in 2012, not necessarily a common thing that you would see a lot in these parts.
So some good news, they've dropped Pulaski and Laurel from that warning, and they've also dropped the tornado possible tag. So that's good news there.
So we'll do one more quick check. We'll do one more update here, and if you'll put that track back on there, because one more time we'll give you some of the communities that could be in the path of this, since we probably won't be back on the air unless there's another tornado possible tag. And we'll take this out. Basically, this go through a big chunk of the area. So Hazel Green over in Wolfe County, I believe at 840, Moorhead at 844, West Liberty at 850. Now again, you guys aren't under any of these warnings just yet. You probably will be here pretty soon. Oil Springs over in Johnson County, 911, 917 for Jackson and Breathitt County, Burning Springs over in Clay County around 924. So now that basically all of the warnings that had the tornado possible tag have expired. Now, do not forget, we are still under that severe thunderstorm watch until 12 o'clock, midnight tonight, all right? These storms are going to continue to roll through. They may be loud. Mother Nature's putting on her own fireworks show tonight with the lightning. So again, loud and bright, but not necessarily all of them severe. But stay weather aware for a few more hours. Hopefully after today, we can drop this first alert weather day. We've been in it for a few days now because the models with these multi-convective systems basically don't handle those very well. This model with the cold front coming in, doing a little bit better. The modeling is giving us a little bit better, more accurate data. So again, stay weather aware for a little bit longer. Hopefully we'll get these storms out here pretty quickly. Cameron will have the latest coming up on Mountain News Weekend Edition at 11 if we're not back on air before, but we will come back on air if we feel like we need to.